Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are looking at something that could literally change how you feel every single day. And the crazy part? You don't even have to put on running shoes to do it. Have you ever woken up with stiff, heavy legs or gone to bed feeling like your ankles are carrying around lead weights? Well, we are breaking down a highly effective routine based on insights from Dr. Mandel. It's designed to supercharge your cardiovascular health, boost your leg circulation, and send fresh oxygen straight to your cells. And honestly, the best part of all this is that you can do this entire routine from the cozy comfort of your own bed.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to cover gravity against your legs, muscles as your body's pumps, activating your feet and ankles, engaging those hips and thighs, using core power for full flow, and finally, building your daily habit. Let's dive right in. Section 1, gravity against your legs. Because before we can fix a problem, we really need to understand the fundamental physical dilemma that our lower bodies are facing every single day.
So why do your legs swell? I want you to picture that heavy, tired, maybe even tight feeling you get in your lower body at the end of a long day. Why does that happen in the first place? You know, it's easy to think our bodies are just malfunctioning, but it's actually a matter of pure physics.
Think about your anatomy for a second. Your legs and ankles, they're the absolute furthest possible point from your heart. When you're upright, standing, or walking around all day, gravity is constantly, relentlessly pulling blood, inflammation, and fluids downward. Your heart is an incredibly strong pump, absolutely, but it is fighting a literal uphill battle, trying to pull all of that fluid back up against the constant downward force of gravity.
Which brings us to Section 2, muscles, your body's pumps. Since we obviously can't turn off gravity, how does our body naturally fight back? Enter venous return, or what's known as the muscle pump effect. This is basically our biological secret weapon. When we contract our leg muscles, they act almost like secondary hearts. They literally physically squeeze the veins in your legs. And because our veins have these amazing little one-way valves, that squeezing action forces the trapped blood and fluids to move in only one direction, straight back up to your chest. So I want you to think of your leg muscles exactly like sponges. When you contract those muscles, you are physically wringing out all the bad stuff that's pulled at the bottom of your body. You're pushing out inflammation, trapped waste toxins, stagnant lymphatic fluid, and all that uncomfortable swelling. By squeezing it all back up to the heart, you're making room for fresh, oxygen-rich blood to flow right back down to your joints, ligaments, and nerves.
All right, Section 3, activating feet and ankles. We're going to begin our routine laying completely flat, starting way down at the furthest extremities. The magic number to start with here is 30. Laying flat on your back, you're going to begin by simply tapping your feet on the bed for about 30 seconds. It sounds almost too simple, right? But that rebound, that really light pounding on the mattress, immediately stimulates the nerves in your feet. It sends these rapid-fire messages right up to your brain, and your brain replies by opening up those arteries to invite in more circulation. Now, from that tapping, we move straight into calf pumping. Keeping your heels down on the mattress, you just rhythmically pump your feet back and forth for another 30 seconds. You want to maintain a really upbeat, steady pace here. This active pumping motion is essentially jump-starting those secondary heart muscles in your calves, actively forcing that lower leg swelling upwards. And here is a super practical tip from Dr. Mandel. If you deal with heavier swelling, just grab a comfortable pillow or two and stick them right under your ankles while you pump. Remember what we said about gravity? By elevating your feet so they are physically sitting above your heart, you are giving your body a massive gravity assist. The swelling just naturally wants to drain back toward the heart. Next up, 40 seconds of ankle circles. You just lift one ankle slightly off the bed, make little circular motions for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then switch to the other foot. What's actually amazing about this is that even though you are just moving your ankles, this motion surprisingly warms up the muscles all the way up your legs. It engages the quads, the hips, and even gets into the abs. Moving right along to Section 4, engaging hips and thighs. We've primed those lower extremities, and now we're purposefully moving that blood flow higher up the physical chain, right into the larger, more powerful muscle groups. So here is where we introduce a bit more dynamic movement. First, the knee kicks. You bring your knee up as best as you can and just kick outward. This really works the front quads and the hamstrings for about 30 seconds per leg. After that, you can try straight leg lifts with a heel kick. As you bring the straight leg back down to the mattress, intentionally let your heel give a little kick or tap onto the bed. That tiny physical impact powerfully stimulates the nerves and actively accentuates all that venous circulation rushing back to your heart.
Next up is what we call the figure 4. You bring one knee up, cross the other ankle right over it so your legs make a shape like the number 4, and then you just gently shake that cross knee back and forth. This stretching motion pulls on the piriformis muscle, which by the way is fantastic for relieving lower back tightness, but simultaneously shaking that knee works the hip joint and acts like a pump to effectively drain away that foot swelling. Next, we're aiming for a 5-second hold with the thigh squeeze. So grab that bed pillow again, place it firmly between your bent knees with your feet flat on the mattress, and squeeze it as hard as you comfortably can for 5 seconds. Release and repeat this for a full minute. This is just an incredible way to powerfully strengthen the inner adductor muscles of your thighs while pulling major blood circulation right up into the upper legs. Section 5, Core Power for Full Flow. We have worked the fluids all the way up from the toes, through the calves, and past the thighs. Now we reach the core, which is the final powerhouse needed to pull that circulation all the way through the system. Time to keep the energy up with the bed bicycle. Laying on your back, you bring your knees up into the air and simply pedal your feet as if you're riding a bike. You want to aim for about a minute or so here. It's a really fun, familiar movement, but doing it on your back like this not only gives a massive boost to your leg circulation, but it also heavily recruits and strengthens your abdominal muscles. Now, if you feel a little bit of strain while pedaling, Dr. Mendel has a really helpful adjustment for you. If your core needs a little extra physical support while your legs are elevated, simply slide the backs of your hands right under your buttocks. It instantly stabilizes your lower back, making the bicycle movement so much easier and safer while you're still building up that ab strength. Our final major movement is the glute bridge. You plant your feet flat into the mattress, knees bent, and lightly lift your butt up into the air, holding it for 2 to 3 seconds before coming back down. This aggressively engages everything, the buttocks, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, by pressing your feet down, and of course your core. Doing this for a minute or two is a phenomenal way to force a massive amount of rich, oxygenated blood supply straight down into your lower extremities. Section 6, Building Your Daily Habit. Because knowing the mechanics is great, but grounding them into a simple, actionable daily routine, that is where the real magic happens. So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. You do not need an expensive gym membership or complex equipment to improve your cardiovascular health. Taking just a few minutes while you are literally laying in bed, either right when you wake up to start your day fresh or right before you go to sleep to drain away the day's swelling, will create fantastic, measurable changes in your circulation. You literally just pick the movements from this explainer that work best for your body, and you go for it. I want to leave you with one final thought today. If contracting a few muscles for a few minutes in the ultimate comfort of your own bed can squeeze out inflammation, flush out toxins, and entirely change your cardiovascular health, what are you waiting for? I challenge you to try this routine tonight. Take control of your physical health, get that blood pumping, and start feeling the difference for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.